We have a very brief award ceremony. Like I said, this is our 30th anniversary. It doesn't come around often. To be honest, it's actually our 29th year. 30 years will be next year. But we don't have a conference next year, so we are celebrating prematurely, 6 months early. On that note, would Savitri and Mildred and the certificates and the awards, would the committee members who are involved in this segment please join me? And Omar, if you would assist me in shifting chairs, por favor. Not you as yet, Mr. Gibbs. You may have a seat. Okay, so the first thing we will have is a very brief 2-minute presentation on about IStructE, because some of you in this room may not know what the Institution of Structural Engineers represents. So Savitri.
Hi everyone, thanks for your time. So I will be very brief. The Caribbean Regional Group is part of a larger organization called the Institution of Structural Engineers. And I just want to give you a brief overview about the organization. So the main objective of this organization is to promote structural engineering advancement for the public benefit. Not ourselves, but every person who uses a structure, a facility, roads, any type of infrastructure building. We also would like, or we try to do, is facilitate the exchange of information. So this conference is part of that idea. As an institution, we consider ourselves the world's largest international membership organization dedicated to structural engineering. The organization was founded in 1908. Sorry. Just give me. Yeah, sorry. So the organization was founded in 1908 as the Concrete Institute, and then in 1922 it was rebranded as the Institution of Structural Engineers. Our values are based on competence, community, accessibility, and diversity. I see this conference as an example of that principle. In terms of competence, we have had many presenters today who you can see are quite competent. So, example one, in terms of a community, all of us come from different places. So we have members coming from different islands to come here to create community. We have contractors, we have engineers, we have our competitors in business who are also here, but together we are a community. And then we talk about accessibility and diversity. As an organization, this has been something that's very dear to us. If you look around the room, we consider ourselves very diverse, both in many aspects, and I think as an organization, especially Caribbean Regional Group, we try to share knowledge through any medium possible. So in this room, there are students from the University of the West Indies and UTT who were sponsored just to attend because we would like to encourage this type of values and principles. So moving on very quickly, this is the organization structure of the institution. It's guided by a board who is Don McMillan. And then in terms of our organization, which are the regional groups, that is headed by the president, Tanya, and then we have a CEO, Yasmin. Membership, there are over 30,000 members around the world. This is just a chart to demonstrate it. And then in terms of competence and excellence, how we go about doing it is that we set high standards for education, training, and assessment. Some of you have written the charter membership exam. That's one example of it. We also like to be ahead of the curve in terms of publications, guidelines, and keeping up to date and relevant. It's part of everyone's continuous professional development. One of the hallmark publications is the Structural Engineer, and as there are many student members here, I encourage you to read it. It's very informative. That's an understatement. And of course, we have new publications which are continuously being updated. I think the architect who was on previously mentioned this book. And then we celebrate excellence. So this year, the gold medalist winner is Professor Sobek. Most gold medalists gives a speech. It's about 1 hour. I mean, it's creative, imaginative. On YouTube, there are many videos of many gold medalists who speak. Very inspiring. And then, of course, we have the structural awards, which I think we have a presenter who won an award here, so you can see why we celebrate that excellence. And so some of the things the institution is doing to support ourselves, members of all different membership, is their online community. So especially for students, you can go and ask questions, and there are engineers, graduates, different people who would help answer your questions. And of course, we have mentoring. And that is the end of my very brief presentation on IStructE.
Hello, everyone. Many congratulations.
Just pause it for 1 second. So Eric is going to do a brief presentation on about the Caribbean Regional Group. But because we had the wrong presentation loaded, we will play a very brief video from our current president, who's Tanya De Hoog. She hails from Australia. You can, but we have photos in the slides, Eric. So while we load that, we'll just play this very brief video and get that presentation up and running for you. Thank you.
Many congratulations on your 30th anniversary. I would have loved to be there in person to help you celebrate. As well as this wonderful celebration, it's a perfect time to recognise Tony Gibbs, who's made an amazing contribution to the institution over so many years. Tony joined the institution in 1964, and he gained chartered status in the 1960s. Tony has been instrumental in establishing the Caribbean Regional Group and has had an exemplary global career. I'd like to thank Tony for his immense contribution to the institution and his ongoing support over so many years. It's been incredible for all of us. I'd also like to make a special mention to Shalini, the Vice President for the Americas. I've had the pleasure of serving on the board with Shalini in recent years. And I've also seen her immense contribution, not just to the institution, but also to the profession. As most of you will know, my presidential themes this year have really centered around community and people. And that's why I think a 30th anniversary is such an incredible thing, because when we have community, when we have support around us, we're much more powerful and I think more positive in terms of our impact as engineers on the world. And so coming together for 30 years in one of our communities that is outside the UK is something that is really special, and it does take a lot of work and a lot of dedication from volunteers. And so I thank you, and I really want to celebrate this moment with all of you. So here from Australia, I'd just like to offer you a big congratulations on your 30th anniversary, and hopefully see many of you online or in person sometime in the near future.
I will tell Tanya that you enjoyed it. Eric, please join us for your brief presentation. Thank you, thank you.
Good everyone. My name is Eric Lewis. I'm an engineer. We have a number of slides that was a group effort, but I think as engineers we put a lot of details, so I will not really be following those slides exactly. There's one point I hope to make in this chat and discussion or description of the Caribbean Regional Group, and it is that it is really an extension of a Caribbean effort. Yes, we have a birth date that we now represent the 30 years, but when you look at the founders, when we look at the persons who are actually the names on the first committee, what you realize is that if you look at those names and then you look at 1970s, 1960s, you're going to see names that were also involved in the various associations, Caribbean associations throughout the region. If you look at the papers, there are conference papers that go back to the 1960s. And if you look at the presenters and writers of those papers, you'll see similar names coming up. Now, it's not about focusing on the individual. Each of those persons who presented to people like yourselves who thought it necessary to come and better themselves, better the industry, better the region, and create quality. The discussions that we have here about code and the need for code, that is really a small part of a much larger discussion about the quality of the persons, quality of the effort, quality of the practice. And the Caribbean Regional Group is really a continuation of that effort in the area of structures. And we work with APET, we work with BP, we work with GIE, we work with all the different associations and agencies, because we are not here to duplicate or compete. We are really here to be part of that movement where we together make the Caribbean region a better place, a better quality of life for all of our peoples through what we can do. Each man carries his own burden. We're into the built-in infrastructure. So it is our responsibility to increase the quality of the built-in infrastructure for our Caribbean region. If the slides are ready, if not, well, no, Shalini, I think that might be a blessing, guys, because at the end of the day, we've been here for a while. Yes? So I think it's simply a matter of recognizing that the regional group, we try to create succession planning. So we go all the way back for succession planning in that we have a design build competition for secondary schools. So we're trying to find the next engineer from the generation to come. Key things to note about the Caribbean Regional Group, if we're following the slides. We span the entire Caribbean, 11 islands, 2,500 kilometers of space of ocean. It is not easy to coordinate and manage and motivate a group of members to focus on one thing for one purpose. Now, that problem was recognized very early in the day from among our founders. And that is why they created the strategy of working with local organizations. So we try to have joint ventures. We try to always partner in conferences. The last joint venture I recall, I believe we signed was with St. Lucia Engineering Association, I believe. So over the years, that strategy has continued, and it has been fairly successful in us being able to move from among the islands. What it has resulted in is that we also rotate the conferences throughout the islands. So if it is that you're not into cricket, but you want to follow a movement around the islands, you can follow the conferences and you'll hit Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, going around the plan. These are a few of the founding members. So these are the original committee members, and these are the persons who came up with the first strategy, recognizing the difficulties that we face in our region. A number of these persons have passed, but thank the Lord, a number of them are still here. In recognition of some of the organizations we work with, once you want to develop your industry, once you want to develop knowledge, we work with everyone. Early meetings, we started off small. Now the AGM is much bigger than that, and it's a testimony to the effort that we have put in. I would like to recognize the committee for having what I think is one of the best AGMs I've ever been to last year or so, where it was held in the Hyatt, and it was a good AGM party. Again, members of the first groups, just recognizing for those committee members that are here, I'd like you all to raise your hands and say hello. These are our hosts. Now, there's some things that need to be noted that within the Caribbean we don't recognize the importance of. Diversity and inclusion. We are almost poster children as a Caribbean regional group for diversity when we travel, because we have everyone, every look, every shape, and we're well represented among the genders, I should say. So that is something that does not necessarily come to the fore in our day-to-day activities or day-to-day discussions in the Caribbean, but it is something that we need to be proud of. Our conferences, our history of conferences, very quickly, and you notice that there's always a theme on sustainability and development. And just an idea of what we look like over the years. We also, aside from these conferences, we also do technical workshops and webinars, those sort of things. So every so often, we might have a detailed working session on steel design or detailed working session on concrete design, because we recognize that we speak about on the level of code and on the level of compliance, but at the end of the day, the young engineers actually know how to do the calculations and make the best decision in relation to implementing the best engineering practice. Chartered members exam training. This is an important one in that for us to exist as a regional group, we actually have to get members in terms of, we have very strong graduate members, very strong student membership. But to become a chartered member, you actually have to sit and pass an 8-hour exam. It's not that easy. It's about a 41 or 45% pass rate, I think. So we would have initiated training within the Caribbean to have this, to assist to train persons who want to sit the exam. And through our lobbying and having conferences like this and actually advocating for ourselves, Mr. Tony McNichols became a marking examiner. So when the world does their papers, Tony is one of those persons who marks and grades the papers to determine if the rest of the world gets to become a chartered engineer. And this is what we do after we have great conferences. And we want to recognize the young members group. After COVID, it was a difficult time to maintain the young members group out of University of West Indies, and this year I was proud to see registration of members in UTT. Again, our succession planning for our design build competitions. And finally, I'd like to recognize, this is our young members group who won our prize. So we have started giving a prize. Please stand up. So you would have supported us and resuscitated, I think is the correct word, the young members group in UE after COVID. As I said, a lot of these things were devastated. So we want to say particularly thank you and recognize your contribution. And with that, that is all I have to say on it. Thank you all for having me.
Okay, guys, I know that we're stretching our friendship here. So we will very briefly, what I'm going to do is, I did have a few words prepared for each of these people. We will be given a small award to a lot of our members who have made contributions, either to continued professional development, to building up young engineers, to mentoring, to giving leadership, to giving guidance, and in general, in helping to build and uplift the entire Caribbean region with all of the little bits and the big bits of work that you have been doing. So on that note, Savitri is our current chair. We do have Mildred, who's one of our committee members, Tasha, who's our secretary. I am one of the past chairs and the vice president for the Americas. And we will start with the first award. So it'll be the next slide. Yes, thank you. Mr. Karen Burgess, who is our current treasurer as well. He has done a lot of work. Please come up, Karen. And could we get someone to take a photo? Yeah. Okay, so Karen has done a lot of work for us in terms of training, continued professional development. He specializes in seismic, so he does a lot of work for us in that arena. And next year, we'll be having more webinars, most of which are free, and we will include you in the mailing list so that you can feel free to participate. Yes, a photo. Okay, thank you very much. Next slide, please, because we are short on. Did we miss one? Go back. Oh, yeah. Okay, next one is Tony McNichols, who is not here with us right now, unfortunately. Our marking examiner, he is the vice president, vice chair for the Caribbean Regional Group right now. He's been a committee member for many years. And so one of his minions will accept on his behalf. Mentees, minions, seems it. All right, next. Right, Quinell Reese, one of our members from Barbados, and Quinell is here, yes. Quinell does a lot of work with us. He did a lot of work, pivotal work, when we had conferences in Barbados and events, and he went around personally collecting volcanic ash for us in Barbados when we're doing sample testing to get the density so that we could advise other engineers in the region, since we do occasionally have volcanic eruptions as well. Next. All right, Mr. Omar Alaha is one of our past chairs. He does a lot of work. He specializes a lot in terms of renewable energies and building and codes and development in that arena. And he is equally passionate about engineering and development in the region as I am. Thank you, Omar. Next. Oh, yes, Garth Arch from the Cayman Islands. He is not here with us today, and I'm not sure if he's online. We were far behind schedule. He was going to be online and turn on his camera briefly at this point, but Mr. Lala will accept on his behalf who works with him. It's not a poor consolation. So, yes, thank you. Garth does a lot of work. He's a doctor, a very distinguished one. Does a lot of works in terms of development and resilience, writing papers, and when he takes something on board, he really runs with it. He doesn't let it go. Next. Yes, Marie-Therese Louis is one of our members in St. Lucia, also a fantastic engineer who cares a lot about performance-based design, and I'm sure if she was here, she would be glued to Luigi, having long discussions about what we're supposed to be doing in that arena. We have had technical courses and seminars. She's online. Can she turn on her camera briefly? I don't know how we switch between the presentation and her beautiful face. But if we are not able to, I might be given the tech guy is a bit too much trouble tonight. But Marie-Therese is online with us. She actually has her entire office sitting in the conference room listening in to our hours and hours of technical works because she is what I would consider to be one of the best engineers I've had the privilege of working with and doing projects with in the past. So Marie-Therese, thank you very much for your contributions. Next. Charlene Toussaint. Please come up, Charlene. Charlene is also one of our members from St. Lucia. So it's between her and Marie-Therese, they basically carry all of the activities that we have in that country. They've been committee members for many years. They're dedicated. They share a lot of the burden that we carry, and she was also on the conference planning committee here, and we appreciate it, Charlene. Thank you. Dr. Myron Chin. That's you, Dr. Chin. Now, Dr. Chin has, I'm sure you noticed when Mr. Gibbs did his presentation much earlier today, where he was one of the leaders when it came to developing codes for the region. He is also the lecturer who signed up many of us IStructE members as student members when we were at the University of the West Indies some 20 plus years ago. So Dr. Chin, we would not be here without you, and we appreciate all of the work that you've done. The little bits that you do makes a big impact. Next we have Antonia Hart, who I'm sure was not expecting this, and I may get an earful from her afterwards. She's also one of our chartered members out of Barbados, and she's the representative here for CDB. She'll be presenting tomorrow. She does a lot of work in terms of development and resilience in the Caribbean. And she does have small passions, and I know that there's a bit of work that CDB is doing that could address some of our gaps at the moment. We will have further discussions on that. I cannot speak on behalf of CDB, unfortunately. Thanks, Antonia. Danielle Steele, just like the author, also one of our members. She does a lot of work for us, especially in terms of the young members group and the student design build competitions. She has been one of our stalwarts in our committees for probably as long as I have been here. Thank you, Danny. Yes, Dr. Anthony Lamb, who, yeah, I knew you were here, Aunt Anthony, hello. He was avoiding coming tonight, but he does a lot of our work in terms of capacity building as well. You're welcome, Anthony. No, thank you. And he will be doing some more of that next year as well in terms of conceptual design. I sell it out early, but we will continue a lot more of that. He specializes in finite element analysis. But him, just like Karen, they love teaching and mentoring and training, and they will continue a lot more of that work for us in the coming years. Simon Westcott. Wait, this is a different type now. This is, I wait for it. Yes. Maybe they could come up with it so Savitri doesn't leave the stage. So Simon Westcott is one of the founding members of the Caribbean Regional Group. He has over 30 years of membership within the institution. He has been a representative on council in the UK for many, many years. I know that his name is still spoken of in the halls of IStructE, and you are well respected, and we appreciate everything that you have done for us, Simon, and will continue to do. And you did our professional review interviews, that is correct. And past us, I don't know why. Next up, we have Mr. Alfrico Adams, who was online earlier today, but unfortunately, we are having some electricity problems in Jamaica at the moment, so he lost power. He messaged me and told me, Shalini, I may not be able to rejoin depending on connectivity. Alfrico Adams is also one of the founding members. He was actually the representative for IStructE in Jamaica in the 1970s, if I'm not mistaken, if Mr. Gibbs will correct me. I have had the privilege of working with him as well. He's a gentleman, he's a scholar. He's unfortunately retired now, he gave up his business, but he's still an immense pleasure to be around, wealth of knowledge, and he always speaks very fondly of IStructE. And unfortunately, he's not able to join us today, but I will take his trophy back for him. Thank you. All right, next. All right, Eric Lewis. Eric, I know you're a bit young to join this group, but you are in this because as one of our past chairs, actually as one of the youngest past chairs after Mr. Murray, you have inveigled your entire office to become a part of the work that IStructE does. And so in any activity that we do, we take over his office, he offers services, he offers his secretary to help us with support and reaching out to people and coordinating and funding and sponsorship and the whole 9 yards. And so Eric, a lot of what we do today and what we can accomplish is because of what you contribute to the Caribbean Regional Group. Thank you. Thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Sobers, Philip Sobers from Barbados, who was online. Is he still online? No, this is quite late. He would have left by now. But Mr. Sobers is also one of the past chairs, one of the original past chairs from Barbados, who's done a lot of work for the regional group. He was here when the group was that big, and he carried work, he carried activities. He was one of the PRI coordinators, which meant that anytime we had new members who were willing to take the exam and you needed to coordinate, to set assignments and set locations, I can still pick up the phone today and say, Mr. Sobers, we need help with something. And he'd say, all right, Shalini, what do you need? And that's the type of people and those are the types of members that we have that helps to keep us going. So Mr. Sobers, who is not here today, Kunal, can you come and collect the trophy on his behalf? Thank you. I don't know if we have anyone from CB Barbados here. No? Thank you. Mr. Murray. I'll tell you his response. It was, oh, Jesus. Mr. Murray is... Oh, Mr. Murray, you still look the same. You still look the same. Mr. Murray is also one of the... Well, when Karen, Eric, and Binta became chartered members of IStructE in 2005, the last person to become a chartered member in the Caribbean was Clifford Murray some 20-something years earlier. He was also my first boss and my mentor and one of the best engineers that you could ever meet and one of the best people you could ever spend time with. Thank you, Mr. Murray. And lastly, but not least, of course, we have a Lifetime Achievement Award for the Honorable Tony Gibbs. There's so much that could be said. Oh, Extraordinary Contribution Award, Extraordinary Contribution Honor. We have renamed the trophy to Mr. Tony Gibbs, who has been a member of IStructE for over 55 years. Over 60 years. Actually, you and Mr. Adams are pushing the highest boundaries of engineering. He is well respected around the world. There isn't a country that I have been to or an engineer that I have met in IStructE, and we do meet engineers from 80 plus countries around the world who does not know Tony Gibbs. He is one of the world's renowned wind engineers. And there isn't any bit of information that I could ever go to Mr. Gibbs for and not rely on 1,000%. Everything that we do, and still a lot of the activities that we do today, is because of the work that you do with us, Mr. Gibbs. And that will be a massive gap. But I know you still have another 20 years because your mom lived to 113. So there's some time to go. We do have a lot of time still. And a lot of the work that comes out is because of this gentleman standing next to me. Would you like to say a few words?
I can tell you that the Caribbean Regional Group would not have thrived without the work of Mr. Robert T. York, who is not with us. Bob was not a chair of the group. He was a patron to the group. He was officially called the patron of the Caribbean Regional Group. Of course, he's no longer with us, but Bob and I passed the Part 3 exams on the same sitting, so that I have But I'm not quite as old as him, but we should not be celebrating 30 years without mentioning Robert York. We couldn't exist without him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for your patience today. I do apologize for the delay. Usually we do keep a tight ship. But at this point, we would like you to join us for a short cocktail reception, which will be in the room next door. And we do have a little token of appreciation as well, which is one of our logoed cups. You will see it on the table when you're leaving. Feel free to take it at the end of the cocktail so you're not walking around with a mug during the night. And thank you very much for coming out here today. Thank you very much for participating. Take time to network now, mingle, and do give your contributions to doing more work in future. Thank you.